I'm Norman Howard, Managing Director of Azure Group Wealth, and welcome to this edition of Wealth 101. Today I'm going to be talking about a major change to super. Now, there's been a lot going on, My Super, Simple Super, you name it, super. This one's called SuperStream. Ever heard of it? Don't feel too bad about it. We didn't know much about it either, but it's been going on for a while now. So back in 2011, July, the government decided to introduce SuperStream. It's administered by the ATO. What it's going to do is it's going to make super simpler for everybody, particularly on the transaction side. What it's going to mean, it's going to affect you, it's going to affect me, and it's going to affect all employers. So here's a little bit about it. The measures are designed to force everybody to use the internet, to use electronic transactions. There's going to be a uniform way in which this is all done. There's only one way to do it. And the ATO, your ATO and my ATO tax file numbers are now going to be used to track transactions. And what's going to happen, you're going to do it once, and it's called straight-through processing. So a lot of the current transactions use paper, take a lot of time, and they incur a lot of costs for everybody, for you and me. And the government's move is to get rid of this layer of red tape that really doesn't help anybody. So how's this all going to work? Well, it's already started actually, and between now and the end of December this year, institutions that roll over money from one place to the other in super, they now are going to be part of that process. And as of January 2014, that's the only way that this money is going to be moved around. So what else is going to happen? Well, what it's going to mean by 2014, July, all large businesses, companies, whatever, if you've got more than 20 employees, what's going to happen? There's only one way to do this, and this protocol through SuperStream will need to be used. It means people have to learn a little bit about it, and there's only one way to do it, which is going to be through a portal or through your provider, mainly through payroll and things like that. Then in 2015, everybody else, all other smaller firms, are going to be required to do a few things. The same as the bigger firms, you're going to need to use software to process all of these transactions. The other thing that's going to happen too, a lot of small businesses don't actually issue pay slips. Well, that's now going to be stopped, and everyone has to have a pay slip, and they're going to have to be told exactly how much super is being paid, when it's being paid, and therefore, because it's run by the ATO, it's going to be a lot tighter. Super funds that are self-managed super funds, are they part of this? Absolutely. So by 2015, you need to be totally enabled to make any payments to members, to receive any money, to do any rollovers, and also to receive contributions. So that means if you've got members in a self-managed super fund who are employees from a larger firm, that's all going to happen in 2014 in July. You need to be ready for that. So SuperStream, what's it really designed to do? Make life simple. One way of doing it, no more checks, no more pieces of paper. And what it's going to help too is all members of super funds will be able to go to a portal which they'll be able to log on to at the ATO, and they can actually track all of their super everywhere, because the tax file numbers is going to be the key. That's what's going to make life so much easier. It's going to take a few years, of course, to get up and running, and the government estimates it's going to cost about $500 million to do that. And yes, you guessed it, we're paying for it. But at the end of the time, end of all that time, it's saving about $1.5 billion a year, which hopefully will go into our pockets over time. So, you know, is there a way around it? Don't have to do it. From an employee's point of view, you have no choice. Also too, when new employees come along and you need to be a new member, there's only going to be one way to do it. Electronic, go to the portal and send it through. But don't despair. A lot of the payroll providers and vendors, they're aware of this, and no doubt over the next little while we'll be talking to you. Of course, accounting firms, and as you as an accounting firm too, we're going to be really up to speed on being able to ways of trying to help you. So does it matter if you don't do it? Well, unfortunately it does. There's only going to be one way to do it, and you're going to have to do it. So this is one of these things that, a bit like going to the dentist for the first few times, you don't have a choice and you've got to do it. So because it's run by the ATO, it's a lot more transparent. There's going to be certain times, and there'll be nowhere to hide, and there'll be no excuses not to do this. Everyone has to do it. So just remember, if you're an employee and you're part of a larger business, 2014 July 1st date, all your super stuff's now going to be done via this electronic medium. And if you've got a smaller business, you've got another year, but after that, that's it, finished. And if you're rolling over money over the next year or so, you're going to find that so much easier. And from your perspective and my perspective, you'll be able to go to the ATO at any time and actually start to track down your super if you've got lots of super all over the place. And it's going to be made easy to be done and very, very simple. Well, that's about it. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there in cyberspace. You can go to the ATO and type in a thing called Super Data Transfer. So I'll say that again, it's Super Data Transfer at the ATO. If you Google that, it'll take you straight there. Knock yourself out, there's so much you won't believe it. Also, all the APRA funds that are looked after, they're all there, and it'll give you a timetable as to when they need to be part of this. And as I said, by the end of July in 2014, or just beforehand, everyone needs to be on board from the super fund side to make this transfer of money work. I'm Norman Howe, good to be with you. See you next time.